My hopes and dreams are to kind of unfold the layers of this neighborhood. It's not this one-dimensional or like kind of stereotype of what it means to be Vietnamese.
A new short film tells the story of how Seattle's Little Saigon neighborhood came to be. It's called Sàigòn to Seattle, 50 years after the war. Its premiere is one of several events planned around the Seattle area to commemorate the fall of Saigon and the end of the Vietnam War. Joining me now are two people who worked on the film, On Nguyen with Friends of Little Saigon, and John L. Tran, a researcher and PhD student at the University of Washington. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having us.
So John, I want to start with you. Can you talk about the significance of this anniversary for the Vietnamese community in King County?
Yeah, so for many, the April 30th is considered the fall of Saigon. For others, it's considered the day we lost our country, and yet there are others that consider it Liberation Day. So, and the reality is that this is all true. So what it is a day of shared experience. And for the Vietnamese Americans here in the Seattle area, it's a day for us, a day of reflection for us to reflect on where we came from, the places that we came from, and where we will go in the future.
Definitely. And what drew Vietnamese refugees to the Seattle neighborhood now known as the Little Saigon?
Well, really the first waves of Vietnamese Americans who came to the state of Washington were relocated throughout the state. So over time, there was a migration to the economic center of the state, being Seattle, and subsequent waves would then reestablish themselves here in Seattle through sponsorships and other avenues.
Yeah, and at the time in Yesler Terrace, there were also a huge population of Vietnamese and Southeast Asian refugees who settled there, which led to Little Saigon, with its proximity to Yesler Terrace, becoming the main commercial core for the Vietnamese community.
Wow, and in working on this film and listening to all the stories, what themes emerged?
Yeah, we saw that there were themes of, in the beginning, hardship through war, through assimilation and the forces of assimilation. And then that eventually progressed to a theme of perseverance. There was a real desire to thrive in this new home. And finally, we found that there was a lot of hope for the future of the community.
Yeah, and with that hope is also the drive to preserve the culture for future generations, and to preserve the language and the practices of the Vietnamese culture as well. Yeah.
And why is it so important to document these stories and this history?
So the stories and the experiences of Vietnamese refugees and South Vietnamese members of the refugee community here are not often shared in textbooks or in media related to the Vietnam War. So we feel like it's important for us to share those stories and to make sure that they don't just exist as oral histories that will fade over time. Also, a lot of Vietnamese refugees, through the pain of loss and trauma of being through the war, they often don't talk about their past. So many of their stories go untold, and a lot of second and third generation Vietnamese Americans don't know about the histories of their parents or grandparents. So we hope that through sharing these stories in our project, it will inspire folks to start new dialogues and to help them move through their journey of healing and understanding.
Absolutely. And the film premieres on May 3rd, which is super exciting. So tell me about that and then the other events that you guys have planned that is coming up.
Yeah. So obviously this is just one of the many events that are happening in Seattle. And for Friends of Little Saigon, we're hoping to premiere our film on May 3rd at Hoa Mai Park, the first public green space in the Little Saigon neighborhood. And along with the film, we'll also be sharing a booklet that accompanies the film. It'll feature more of the research that John did. It'll tell you more about all of the different folks that we interviewed for the project. And outside the film and the booklet will be showcasing some art. Right now on view, you can see an exhibit at the Little Saigon Creative, curated by Tan Tan, focusing on veterans who fought in the final battle of the Vietnam War. And we also have an exhibit on view at Yuan Ru Art Center in Bellevue, featuring art by local artists, 9 artists and 9 storytellers, making work about their experience and their families' experiences of the Vietnam War.
Wow. Well, I'm so glad you both were here today. Thank you so much for sharing your story and your passion and the film with us. We really appreciate it.